All right, let's talk about a word we hear constantly, freemium. Dropbox, Skype, Slack. It's the engine behind some of the absolute biggest names in tech. But it turns out this whole business model is way, way more complex, and frankly, more fascinating than most of us ever realized. Okay, let's get into it.
So right off the bat, we got to clear something up. This is the #1 misconception out there. Is freemium just a fancy, dressed-up name for a free trial that, never ends? Well, no, not even close. And confusing the two, that's actually one of the biggest mistakes a business can make.
Here's where it gets really interesting, and it's all about psychology. Growth architect Lincoln Murphy points out this massive difference. A free trial? It starts with a ticking clock in your head. You know it's temporary. It's going to end. But freemium sets the expectation that the product is yours to use for free forever. That completely flips the script in the user's mind from, I'm just testing this out, to, hey, this is my tool.
And that one fundamental difference is our jumping off point. Because if it's not a free trial, then what in the world is it exactly?
This isn't just some minor detail. When companies treat their freemium product like it's a long free trial, they set the wrong expectations, they measure the wrong things, and, they ultimately fail to get people to upgrade. They're basically playing a completely different game without even knowing the rules.
So let's talk about those rules. The first thing you have to understand is that freemium isn't just one single strategy. It's actually a whole family of different models, and each one has its own unique logic.
In fact, Lincoln Murphy breaks it down into at least 7 distinct types. Yeah, 7, which just goes to show you there is absolutely no one-size-fits-all approach here.
Okay, so let's check out a few of these. First, you've got the traditional model. Think Dropbox. You get a useful but limited free version, and the whole point is to get you to pay for more storage, more features. Simple enough. Then there's the land and expand model. Yammer is the classic example here. One person in an office starts using it for free, then their teammates join, and pretty soon the value grows so much that the entire company has to get on a paid plan to manage it all. And a third one is freeware 2.0. Think Evernote or Skype. The main product is totally free and works great, but you pay for powerful premium add-ons, like extra storage or calling actual phone numbers.
So why do these different models work so incredibly well? It's because they're not really about features and storage limits. They're designed to tap directly into our deepest, most fundamental human emotions.
The first trigger is this question right here. It's that little nagging voice of anxiety in the back of your mind, that fear of being left behind.
And yep, that feeling has a name. FOMO, the fear of missing out. This is the absolute engine that powers the land and expand model. You see all your coworkers sharing files and having conversations in a tool like Slack or Yammer, and you get this urgent feeling that you need to be in on it too. You just don't want to be the one person left out of the loop.
Then there's the second powerful trigger. This one appeals to our ambition, maybe even a little bit of our greed. We're all looking for that edge, right? A way to be better, faster, or more productive?
This desire for an advantage is precisely what makes freeware 2.0 models so darn effective. I mean, Evernote's free version is fantastic, but the idea of having unlimited storage and these super advanced search features, for a power user, that is just too tempting to pass up. You upgrade not because the free version is bad, but because the paid version offers a clear, irresistible benefit.
Okay, so we've got the what and we've got the why. Now let's dig into the how. How do you actually build a system that lets a user go from free to paid totally seamlessly?
So the very first step is deciding on your pricing model. This is the foundation, the blueprint for how you're actually going to charge for your premium stuff. This is where your freemium strategy finally connects to making real money. And according to payment platforms like Stripe, you've got several options. You could go with a simple flat rate, one price per month for a bucket of features. Or maybe a per-seat model, which is great for teams because the cost just scales up with each new user. Or you could get more sophisticated with usage-based pricing, where your customers literally pay for exactly what they consume, like gigabytes of storage or the number of API calls they make. Now for the real magic, the secret sauce that makes this all happen automatically. Once a user clicks that upgrade button, you don't want some person in an office having to go and flip a switch. The key to making these upgrades instant and seamless is a neat little piece of tech called a webhook.
And the process is actually incredibly simple and elegant. Step 1. A user clicks upgrade and pays you through a service like Stripe. Step 2. Stripe immediately, automatically sends a tiny message, that's the webhook, over to your application server. And step 3, your app gets that message and instantly unlocks all the premium features for that user. The whole thing happens in seconds. No humans required.
So let's just quickly recap everything we've deconstructed today.
First, freemium is not a free trial. It is built on a totally different psychological foundation. Second, it's not just one thing. It's a family of at least 7 diverse strategies. Third, these strategies work because they tap into powerful human emotions like FOMO and our desire for a competitive advantage. And finally, making it all work depends on a smart combo of the right pricing model and killer automation tools like webhooks.
So the next time you sign up for some free service, take a closer look, because now you can see the architecture hiding just beneath the surface. You can spot the specific model they're using, the psychological triggers they're pulling, and the automated tech that's making it all hum. Which brings up the real question: what's your freemium blueprint gonna be?